Hey crew, it's Pid, and I'm back with today's Timeless Tarot for August the 18th of 2025, but this is a Timeless Tarot reading, so whenever you find it is exactly when it was meant to find you. We're going to draw 8 cards from the Divine Feminine deck, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine deck in accordance with the 8 human chakras so that we can better understand how to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. I've already done a pre-shuffle, but I like to get a couple more just to make sure everything is exactly where Spirit would have it to be. And now we will begin pulling with the base. And in the base we have the Four of Cups. In the sacral we have the Six of Wands in reverse. In the solar plexus we have the Eight of Swords. In the heart we have the Nine of Wands. In the throat we have the Two of Swords in reverse. In the third eye, we have the Empress. In the crown, we have the Tower. And rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Next, we're going to pull a card from the Divine Masculine deck. The Divine Feminine, the cards that are already on the table. Let us know what the current energies are, what the current situation may be. The Divine Masculine will let us know what steps and actions that we can take to help positively manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And now we will begin pulling with the Crown. And in the Crown we have Temperance. Get those aligned, right? In the third eye we have the Eight of Wands. In the throat we have the Three of Wands in reverse. In the heart, we have the Eight of Pentacles. In the solar plexus, we have Judgment in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Empress in reverse. And in the base, we have the Four of Cups. And rounding out our message from the bottom of the deck in the Divine Masculine, we have the Four of Swords. All right, let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us today. We begin in the base because that is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have money? Do you have provision? This is basic provision. It is the area that deals with love and wrath, so you may be giving away too much affection. You may not be getting the affection that you feel like you deserve, and neither one of those is intrinsically good. And here for you today with your base existence, what is currently unfolding in your area of provision is manifestation in a large way. This is the same card twice, which means Spirit is telling you this is what I mean. This is the card of manifestation. This is about understanding. Fours are understanding. This is a cup. Cups are about feelings. It is body, spirit. It is water. It is your relationships. It is familial relationships, spousal relationships, co-worker relationships, and just your friendships. But it is the feelings behind it, not the actual person. Now, what is happening in this card is you have this man sitting in a meditative pose underneath the tree of knowledge. He has 3 empty cups in front of him, and behind him is one appearing out of nowheres. He has, in my interpretation of this card, is the manifestation card. He has taken the contents of these 3 cups and manifested the contents of the 4th cup. This is him manifesting in his life. This is about getting an understanding about manifestation. This is also about emotions, but here maybe it's a little bit less. This is the manifestation card in the provision spot, and so it does appear that you are currently manifesting provision in your life, and the actions that can be taken is the exact same thing. You are to manifest provision in your life. Now, this is manifesting emotional satisfaction as well as provision. And so, overwhelmingly, this is telling you the same thing repeated twice. You are currently manifesting the things that you desire, the things that will make you emotionally fulfilled, and you are to continue doing so. Next, we're going to move to the area of physical generation. This is the sacral. This is the area that deals with lust and chastity, so it might be physically generating a child, but it doesn't necessarily have to be so. It can be you giving away too much sexual energy, you not receiving enough sexual energy, and neither one of those are intrinsically good. Sexual abstinence is highly overrated. And you have the victory card in reverse, right? This is the Six of Wands, right? Yeah, the Six of Wands, which is about you have just overcome the challenge of the wands. Right, the 5 is the challenge, the 6 is you have overcome, and the 7 is the harvest. And so this is just before the harvest. This is victory. He is riding the white horse of victory. He has his wand of change. Wands are about change. We hadn't got to that yet, but wands are spirit. They are fire. They are intuition. They are light, logos, life, light, logos, and change. And so this can represent great change coming into your life. It is a victory card. He has on his wand of change, he has a laurel, which signifies victory. On his head, he also has another laurel, which signifies victory, and he is riding forward into time in a victorious stance with everybody celebrating except this one person back here who is supposed to look a little bit jealous. This is you being victorious. This is your current energy, but it is not quite manifested in that way yet, right? This is not a challenge. You have overcome that. This is not the harvest. You are not quite there yet. This is you putting the appropriate energy in the appropriate way so that you can get the appropriate results, right? Weeding the garden, watering the garden, fertilizing the garden. That is this energy. And so when it is standing tall, this is you in victory, given the appropriate energies. When it is like this, this is you. The victory has not unfolded yet. It does. It is coming. This card is here, but it has not presented itself. And it can indicate that maybe there's some jealousy back there. I don't really read it that way much. Right? This is mostly about victory, and this is victory that has not unfolded yet. Now, this is what you are unfolding in your life, what you are trying to create. You envision with your third eye. You manifest through your heart. You give the energy out, and then you take physical positive steps here. You envision your business. You make the business plan. You get the funding. You rent the building. Right? These are physical steps in the right direction. This can also be interpersonal relationships, and so there may be something here with that, but it is not apparent, right? We will see when we get to communication, maybe if there's some clarification, but this does not appear to be dealing with someone else. This appears to be dealing with you. And that is clarified by the Empress, which is the 3 of the major arcanum. This is a clarifier for the 10 of cups, right? No. The 10 of Pentacles. So this is a provisionary path clarifier. A 3 is going to be about learning, right? You make a choice with the 2, you learn with the 3, and then you understand with the 4. This is something that you need to learn that you are not currently learning. Now, this is the divine feminine as a teenager, not as a mature woman who has all of the gifts that come with being a mature woman, but as someone just stepping into those nurture developments, right? But they have a tendency, maybe they're a little bit jealous, maybe they're a little bit gossipy, maybe they're a little bit too tied up into the attractiveness of things. And so there is some of that energy here. Now you have this in the reverse, which can indicate some maturity there, but there is still something to learn. That is probably what it's going to be, because you do have here in the left-hand path, you have these 2 cards presenting, right? Both of them are the Empress. You have one in the current energy in the reverse, and you have one standing tall. This is your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. So you are aspiring to be the Empress here. This is you stepping into that and just beginning to learn about that. Not in the fullness of it. That would be like this. But maybe this is you just beginning this path that is going to lead to the victory. You have some things to learn, but it is going to require you to embrace your feminine side. And that is not to say that you, if you're a dude, that you have to start acting all effeminate, right? That everybody has the masculine and the feminine in them, and the balance thereof is quite important in your life. And learning to balance those things is very important in your life. And so if you have overbearing masculine energy, this is going to bring the calming of that, the understanding of the feminine, which will lead to the victory. But overall, what you are trying to generate here is victory, and you do so by embracing the divine feminine, not in her immaturity, which if it was like this, it's embrace the immaturity even. This is more of you have something to learn about the divine feminine, but you're not quite there yet. Next, we go to the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is quite literally what changes your food into fuel. It is tied to your stomach. It deals with temperance and gluttony, so the overconsumption of things, the underconsumption of things. Neither one is particularly good. Aestheticism is highly overrated. This is the area of amplification, right? This is directional on the left-hand path. The right-hand path is amplification. That's where the energy comes from to do all the rest of the things. You consume it through your throat. It's digested and transformed into energy here. You direct, or you amplify your desires through your throat and your solar plexus. And what you have today is the new path of a thought, a communication. Right now, this is swords. Swords are soul. They are thought and intellect. They are communication, and they can indicate combat as well. 8 is a new path, right? This is the higher iteration of the ace. The ace and the 8 are like, oh, look, there's a path right there. I get to choose. You're not making the choice yet. You are simply realizing that there is a choice to make. This is a choice about a thought, a communication, possibly combat, a little bit less energy of that, or it's an idea, right? Thought, idea, communication, combat. And so this can be that there is a communication coming into you. If it was up here, that would most likely be what it is. This is a realization about a thought that is going to lead to these other things, right? This is what drives these. And if you are manifesting and you are stepping into the path of victory, then the realization of this thought is going to make it happen. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken. This is the Temperance card. No, this is the Judgment card. Judgments are about the fair, just judgment, right? When you look at this card, this angel is blowing the trumpet, bringing these people up from the grave. None of them are on fire. They all seem to be relatively happy about the situation. And so it is fair and equal justice, judgment given under the law. This is a 20, which is going to be the overcoming, nurturing energy that we saw, where was it? Right here. Right. This is the 6 and the Queen are reiterations. This is a clarifier for the Queen of Cups, which is the highest emotional attainment. This is the Divine Feminine clarifier, right? So again, with the Divine Feminine. You have this in the reverse. Now, this can indicate when it is standing tall that you need to make a judgment that is fair and balanced, right? Not playing partiality to anyone, but doing exactly what should be done in exactly the right way so that the energy is returned. This is a little bit less of that fair and equal balance, right? This may indicate one of the things about this 8. This is a card of self-imposed restrictions, right? She has been taken captive, but all of her captors are in the past. They are no longer actively keeping her captive. She is tied with her arms bound, and she does have a blindfold on, so she doesn't know that. But as of right now, she is responsible for her imprisonment. She could walk away. She does not realize that. Right? So this is self-imposed restrictions. And if this is a self-imposed restriction in the area of temperance and gluttony, that can indicate that maybe you have a little bit too much temperance. Right? You are meant to have the virtues and the vices in balance. You are meant to use all parts of the virtues and the vices. If you are abstaining entirely from a vice, this card, this judgment in reverse and the self-imposed restriction can indicate that that is where your problem is going to be. That self-imposed restriction is something that only you can get rid of, and the only way to do that is to make a just judgment on the situation. And so there may be here some energy that you need to relax yourself either towards the virtue or the vice, depending upon your particular situation. But that self-imposed restriction is what is really holding back this victory. Next, we go to the heart, and the heart is you. This is your core central being. It is what will make you happy. It is all of the things that you want to manifest. It is where you put out your energy. You envision your future with your third eye. You invest your energy from the heart into the divine, and you take positive steps into your sacral. You bind together the as below and the as above and feed it through the heart. The heart is with a part that deals with greed and charity. Greed is associated with the mortal coil. It is loving things a little bit too much. Charity is the upper coil. It is loving things a little bit too little. Neither one of those are intrinsically good. And what you have here is the 9 of Wands. Once again, wands are about spirit, fire, life, light, intuition, logos, change. And so this is the Wounded Warrior card. This is he has already defeated all of these wands behind him, but he is leaning upon his wand because it was a tough battle. He has a bandage around his head. He's a little bit beat up right now. This card presenting is this is a 9. 9s are going to be about a choice. This is a choice around change. The change is going to allow other things to affect you in your life. And so this is letting you know that your current situation is that you are being faced with a choice around change. That will be reiterated. Now, clarifying with some steps that can be taken, we have the 8 of Pentacles, and this is a hard work and diligence card. Right? That is what I call it. Right? This is the 8. The 8, once again, is going to be the presentation of the new path. This is the presentation of the new path of provision, where you're manifesting here, right? This central trunk is definitely linked. And so what we have here is these 6 have been nailed to the wall. He is working on one, and he has one under his feet, right? The future project, the projects he has completed that are now on display for sale, and the one that he is currently hard working upon, even though he has 6 of them already for sale. Hard work and dedication, diligence. You got this in the reverse, which can indicate that maybe you are working a little bit too hard. Maybe you are putting in a little bit too much effort, and that effort is what is hindering you from this realization. Now, generally speaking, you should be working towards your goals, but it is entirely possible to burn yourself out by taking on too much, by spreading yourself too thin, by not taking the appropriate rest and relaxation. Rest is an important part of growth. If you are not resting, you will burn out, right? There is a time for everything, and the day breaks down into it pretty fairly well, right? There are 24 hours in a day. 8 of those are to be working, 8 of those are to be sleeping, and 8 of those are to be playing. Now, I understand that there's a little bit of wiggle room there, because when you get off of work, you got to get home, you got to bathe, you got to eat, do all of that. But your recreation is just as important as the other 2 parts. You need to get 8 hours of sleep for a good, healthy life. You need to work 8 hours a day at a minimum for a good, healthy life. It keeps you productive. But you should be taking the time to do recreation. This can indicate that maybe you're feeling a little bit exhausted because you are not taking the time that you need to rest. Rest, again, is very important. Next, we're going to go to the throat. The throat is the area of communication. It deals with pride and humility, so taking too much credit for your work, not taking enough credit for your work, neither one are good. You should feel good for a job well done. You should not feel better than anyone because of it. And what you have is a hard choice. Now, this is a choice around a thought, idea, or communication, possibly combat. But this is a communication card in the communication slot. This is communication. And so this can indicate that there is coming to you a choice that you are going to have to make that is a little bit difficult. Now, she is blindfolded. She can't see. So that can indicate that you do not or may not have all of the information that you need to make the correct decision. She is holding the 2 swords. That indicates that it is a hard decision. She has the waters of change behind her, and she has the land of possibility in front of her, and then way in the back there's another land. This indicates a hard choice most of the time, right? This indicates a choice around a thought, an idea, or a communication, but it is a communication card in the communication slot, so it may very well indicate that there is a communication coming in that you need to make a choice in. Now, this is a hard choice. This might not be. This energy here is that maybe it is not a hard choice. Maybe this is a choice that will present itself to you that is not that difficult, right? If this is a difficult choice, this is going to be an easier choice. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken is a spirit of cooperation. This is a 3, and we've already seen the 3. The 3 is about learning something, right? This is learning something around change. It is tied to the communication and the choice. It is in the reverse. When this is standing tall, he is standing there by himself, waiting for his ships to come in. He is waiting to learn whether his investment that he made the choice with the 2 about is actually going to be fruitful. He won't learn that until the 4. He is standing here waiting for it. But he has these three wands of change, and he is looking out, waiting to see if his ships will return. This is a spirit of isolation. He is by himself on this card, and the threes are either isolation or a spirit of cooperation. You have it in the reverse. And so if this is a spirit of isolation waiting for the ships to come in, this is a spirit of cooperation, and the ships are coming in. Now, there is a choice to be made, probably related to a spirit of cooperation, right? If it was like this is you learning something about the choice that you made in a spirit of isolation. This is you learning something about the choice that you made in a spirit of cooperation. And so there is probably going to be a communication that you need to make a choice about, but it is overall fairly positive and does appear to be that it will be involving someone else. Next, we're going to go to the third eye, and the third eye is hopes, dreams, and aspirations. It is what you want to create into your life. It is the area of manifestation. You set the direction of your manifestation with the left-hand path. This is the area that deals with sloth and diligence. So are you working towards your goal, or do you just expect it to pop up with no input? It will not pop up with no input. That is not a thing that happens. And you got the reiteration of the Empress, right? This is your current situation for your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. What you want to manifest into your life is the Empress energy. And we talked about that, right? That is embracing the divine feminine, not in maturity, right? You have, or not in her maturity, right? Whenever I say not her maturity, it kind of sounds immature. But this is not in her maturity, right? The immature teenage female, because she doesn't know the things yet, right? She is just learning how to be the feminine. And so this is learning how to use that nurturative energy, and that is what you are trying to bring into your life. And that is clarified by another 8. This is the 8 of Wands. This is about change, sudden change coming into your life. I wonder if we're going to see that again really soon. I bet we will. What we have here is 8 wands that someone has thrown over there, right? And they are all on the downward trajectory. They are almost home. This is the land. They are about to land. They are all fairly close together. You have one that is back, but the rest of them are all fairly close to coming to completion together, right? This is sudden change coming into your life. That is what this card is. This is the realization of the higher path. It is an 8. It is just after the harvest of the 7. Just before the choice of the 9. And so, right here is the action that you take to get to the situation of the 9. And so this is saying that you are wanting to embrace your feminine side, and it is bringing change into your life rather quickly. Now we move to the crown, and the crown is where you feel responsible for the message that the divine gives to you, right? You interpret the message through your crown, you distribute it to the rest. It is the area that deals with hope and despair. So if you are hoping when all hope seems lost, this is the area of balance. If you are despairing, even though everything is hopeful, this is the area of balance. And you have sudden change coming into your life that you do not have a whole lot of control about. Now, this is what you feel like is coming into your life. It feels like this is what makes you hopeful or brings you despair, and this is where you feel the divine talking to you, right? Now, what is happening on this card is that this tower was stretching to the heavens, and maybe it got a little bit prideful, and they put a crown on top of it. And the divine did not like that too much, so he sent a lightning bolt and knocked the crown off the tower. And when he did so, he also knocked out these 2 people. They are falling to their doom. That is divine providence changing things in your life, bringing in some rather sudden change that you do not have control over. If it presents in the reverse, then you've got a small measure of control. This is not, right? This is you do not have control of this change anymore. You have probably initiated it, because that does tend to be how it works. But you no longer have that control, right? You do have some choices that can be made here. You always have a choice, right? I'm not taking away the ability for you to choose. What I'm telling you is that you feel like the divine is telling you that there is change, and it is making you hopeful, right? Now, This is the Temperance card. And much like the Judgment card, this is a card about balance. Now this is, what is that? That's a 14? Yeah. Okay, so a 14 is going to be the completion and the harvest. It is going to be the completion and the harvest of the Path of the Swords, which is thoughts, ideas, and communications. And so this can indicate that you making this choice about a thought, right? Coming out of this self-isolation about this thought, working diligently towards the thought even, is going to lead to the harvest, right? This is you bringing in the harvest, right? On the thought level. This is the clarifier for the King of Swords. And so this is a completion and a harvest. Now, temperance is about balance in life. This is what you are being told to do. So you are being told to balance, which can indicate coming off of the temperance a little bit, right? We talked about that. Striking balance in your life. This angel is standing equally upon the waters and on the earth, balanced, pouring the waters of life between the two cups, balanced. There is a crown of divine providence right here, and there is, these are lilies on the side, but there is a path coming from the divine down to the waters of life right here. And so this is you going to the harvest in conjunction with the tower right here. Right, the divine is telling you that change is coming and it is divinely tempered. There is a bit of a balance that you are required to strike, but that requires you to back out of some things, not necessarily run into them. And so there is change. It is beneficial. Next, we move to the divine. The divine is a direct message to you from the divine. It is not colored by the virtues or the vices. The divine has the virtues and the vices in perfect balance. The Queen of Pentacles. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know what this means, but if not, then you may not, right? This is the divine feminine as a mature woman, right? Making the right decisions, no longer caring about whether this is pretty or not, no longer caring about doing the gossip, no longer caring about the jealousy and the backbiting. A fully mature woman acting appropriately, and this is what the divine is bringing into your life in the current situation. This is the divine feminine in the divine feminine slot, right? This is you wanting to embrace the divine feminine. This is you actively seeking to embrace the divine feminine and learn about it. This is you as the divine feminine. There is an overwhelming message here that you are to embrace the divine feminine. Now, I happen to know from my analytics that most of the people who watch me are masculine, right? They are men. And so there is always a need. And even like I'm relatively well balanced, even for me, there are times when I need to balance my divine feminine because I can be a little bit too much divine masculine. And so this is you embracing your divine feminine. Now, clarifying that with actions that can be taken, we've got the Four of Swords, right? You got the Four of Cups twice down here, right? This is manifestation into your life. This is meditative. This is the meditation card to me, whereas this is the manifestation card. This is the understanding of the thought and the idea. That is what you are doing right here, right? You have the 3 victories on the wall and your sword underneath, and you are laying in a pose of meditation to understand the combat that you have learned. Right before you rise to meet the challenge of the 5. And so this is a card of meditation. This is a card of deep thinking. This is a card of understanding the thoughts. This is what you are being told to actively do. And so, if we take these 2 cards, right, in conjunction with everything else that has been laid on the table, what we are seeing is that there is a need for you to embrace your divine feminine, to really manifest into your life. It is necessary to be balanced between the masculine and the feminine. There is no real equivocation about that. If you are not balanced, you will not manifest correctly. Right? You are constantly creating. You are a creator. And so you should be able to focus that in the appropriate ways. The divine feminine is about appropriately placing the energy. It is not the harvest. It is not planting the seeds. It is instead watering, weeding, and fertilizing your garden. Now, you are to accomplish that by meditating, thinking, and understanding this thought that you have a decision to make about. There does appear to be a communication coming in, but if you spend the appropriate amount of time, you will manifest change in your life, and it will be beneficial. That's going to bring us to the end of the reading. Hopefully I brought a little bit of alignment and not too much confusion to somewhat difficult series of understandings, right? If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow, throw me a comment. Whether you agree or disagree with anything that was said, put it in the box down below. And if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.